planning board meeting for the city of New Brunswick for July 10th, 2017. We're all ready, Madam Chair.
Okay, let's do roll call.
Pierre Checo. Here. Claire Garber.
Here.
Chris Delatella. John Petrolino. Here. Manuel Castaneda. Carly Neubauer.
Here.
Nicole Burgos. Suzanne Ludwig.
Here.
Dave Fitzhenry. Jeff Crum.
Okay, the public announcement, Open Public Meeting Act.
Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act that comply with and satisfy the annual notice of a sufficient notice of time, place, and conduct of all public meetings of the planning board of the city of New Brunswick has been filed with the city clerk and placed on the appropriate bulletin board at lobby of City Hall, 78 Byers Street, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspapers of the city of New Brunswick, naming the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger.
Salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes of the board's May 25th, 2017 meeting.
Madam Chair, members will receive copies of the minutes in their packets. Unless there's any changes or additions, a motion to approve would be in order.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
New business, Rutgers University S 31-2017-01, Section 31. Master Plan Consistency Review and Recommendation for the construction of the Rutgers Center for Adult Autism Services located at 100-120 Nickel Avenue, Block 700, Lot 2, Zoning District IN-2.
Madam Chair, this is a Section 31 review, as you just said, and so we're not doing a full site plan review here. We're just looking at whether the project is consistent with the master plan, and making any recommendations to Rutgers that the board might feel are appropriate for the project. Those recommendations are non-binding on them, but they do have an obligation to give them due consideration. And Mr. Frank Wong from Rutgers University, their Director of Planning, is here, and he's got some boards to show you all and describe the project.
Frank, can you raise your right hand and state your name, spell your last name for me, please?
Frank Wong, W-O-N-G.
And do you swear to the truth in this matter?
I swear to tell the truth. Okay, very good. Well, thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Planning Board. I'm very pleased to be able to bring before you a presentation of the Rutgers Center for Adult Autism Services. Before I get into the presentation, I do want to say a couple of words about autism, and then talk about some of the things that Rutgers is doing in regards to autism. And then I'll talk about the site, and then talk more about the building. And then I'll sum it up by saying how this project really is consistent with both the university and the city's master plan. So there's a statistic out there that 1 in 68 children nationwide and 1 in 45 children here in New Jersey suffer from a condition known as autism spectrum disorder, autism. So these children, they receive public services through their school. They get mental health counseling, they get tutoring, they get transportation. But when they get beyond the high school age, those services diminish rapidly, and it's left to the families to figure out how to manage this situation. And so it's estimated that in the next decade, over 500,000 children will become adult age with this condition. So there's sort of a growing crisis. Rutgers University, through its Graduate School of Applied Professional Psychology, has a number of facilities, actually on the Douglas campus, that deal with younger children, K to 12. There's a facility on Gibbons Court part of campus, and then there's a facility on the corner of Riders Lane and Labor Center Way. which kind of help give vocational training, and there's a day school where kids are dropped off. This project that I'm going to describe really takes this beyond that, and it's really geared at adults with autism. And it's hoped that this will become a model, potentially for other universities, other campuses to put into place. So what I'm about to describe is a program that doesn't exist anywhere else, and that we're sort of on the cutting edge of developing this type of facility. Let me describe the site, and this is marked Exhibit A. This is the existing site that we're considering building a facility. This is known as the Corwin site. This is Nickel Avenue, which ends here at Sanford Street and makes this right turn. So Recreation Park is just beyond the edge of the board. Along here is the New Brunswick water treatment plant. So this is Comstock Street, which is the primary entrance into the water treatment plant facility. And this is Dudley Road, so Dudley Road cuts into the center of campus, and the campus proper is on this side of the board. So the Corwin site was used for housing. There are two distinctive horseshoe-shaped streets here, and there were residences built along each horseshoe back in the 30s. They looked like single-family houses. These were residences for Douglas College for up until about 5 years ago. So basically, it became these residences they weren't sprinklered. They were not accessible for the handicap. It was expensive to maintain them and to wire them for internet. So it was a decision made to actually take them offline. So these residences had been vacant for a period of time. There are two buildings that front on Nickel Avenue, including the Little Theater, which is a building that is sort of managed by the Mason Gross School of Arts. So they use the Little Theater for stage construction, stage set construction for their productions. And then there's the Corwin Lodge, which was the community center for this part of the site, but is now used as a dance studio by Mason Gross. So this gives you sort of the context for the site. What's proposed is, and I'm showing this on Exhibit B, is that one half of this parcel be used to develop a day center, which is the first phase of the project, and then potentially a future residence facility for adults with autism. At the moment, we're really concentrating on the day center, which is a facility that we provided the plans. This is a 12,500 square foot facility. It's a single story, and it is really intended to function as a drop-off for adults who are being brought by their caregivers on a daily basis and then picked up at the end of the day. And the thinking is that they can learn vocational skills at the facility, but it's not intended that they linger here. The whole idea behind this concept is that there are a plethora of job opportunities on campus, whether it's sorting books in the library, or working in the mail room, or working in the dining halls, or part of the grounds crew. So there are a lot of opportunities right on campus that these individuals who would be accompanied by graduate students as part of the psychology department, they would have mentors, and they would guide them and walk them and show them how to get on the campus bus. So another facet for for this environment that we're creating on campus is that the university's been here a long time. It's been here for 250 years. It's not going to go away anytime soon. There are all these services available on campus. They can get on the bus system without having to handle money and use the bus system to travel around campus, again, under the assistance of a graduate student. That would be, this would be a facility that would serve 50 to 60 individuals. And this is sort of the initial kind of first phase of the idea. Over the long term, the residence hall would provide beds for about 20 adult autism individuals. And we're thinking that it would also be a facility for the graduate students who are their mentors. So it's a residence hall situation where, and we haven't completely figured this piece out. It could be 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom suites, and so there would be a combination of someone who is a graduate student who's kind of watching and guiding them in their living arrangement, perhaps with another roommate. And so hypothetically, this could be a place where these clients or individuals would spend their adult lives on the campus, being part of the community, part of the campus, under the auspices and the guidance of the faculty and researchers who will also have offices here. So we've hired an executive director for the Rutgers Center for Adult Autism Services. So his office and his staff would occupy a part of the building. The other part of the building is kind of open, multifunctional space with movable seating. It's intended to be not feel institutional, but feel more residential, feel more like a community place. And the two buildings, both the initial building and the future building, would frame sort of this enclosed courtyard facing the back of the little theater. And the idea for how this would work, at least from the day center perspective, is that cars would come up Dudley Road and they would be able to pull in and drop off. This is the entrance into the building. And so there's the open space here, the offices in the back. And then they would be guided out to different places on campus to their jobs. And then they'd come back here and then they'd be picked up at the end of the day. So this is a day facility, but they're out on campus working, and then they come back and get picked up here. And the cars would leave via Comstock Street. If this idea gains traction and really develops, the other part of the Corwin site could hypothetically become sites for additional residence halls. We're going to take that a step at a time. I'm going to show you some images of the exterior to give you a sense of the character and how it relates to the surrounding landscape and to the neighborhood. So you can see this is a view if you were on top of the future residence hall. And this is showing a view of the day facility. This is the entrance, and this is the courtyard that I described. This is the rear of the little theater, and the campus is in the background. And so we're still talking about the finishes and the roof line. The building square footage, the shape of the building, at least its footprint, we're pretty confident on what that is. So we're still working on some of the exterior finishes at this point. Here's another view, showing a view from Dudley Road. So this is Dudley Road coming from Whitman. I'm coming from Nickel Avenue, and I have my, so this is, so the water treatment plant is just over here. This is the driveway drop-off of the facility. So again, the desire here is to create a facility that is, doesn't feel institutional, but fits in with the character of the neighborhood, so that it doesn't feel distinct from the campus. Okay, it doesn't want to feel like it's a separate entity from Rutgers, and that was the desire of the client's families. So in terms of whether this fits in with the larger planning picture, from the university perspective, this site, after the housing there was taken offline, we didn't think that it was an appropriate site for an academic building or a classroom building. It wasn't necessarily a site that we wanted to use for undergraduate student housing, but this particular use fits well. It's separate but connected, it's accessible, and so we think that this is a function that works well at this location. The existing conditions of the site are, buildings are not in use and they're boarded up, and so this site, this project will actually clean up what is become around the derelict area, and is an improvement to the neighborhood and to the campus. These houses are boarded up and they're attractive nuisances, so the demolition of these structures could potentially commence later this year if the funding is all lined up. And it's, right now, it's anticipated, if everything falls into place, that the first phase, the day center, could be up by late 2018. So I'd like to say that we had met with neighborhood residents where we presented this plan. So there was a neighborhood group from the Nickel Avenue corridor that we met and gave this presentation to, and they feel that this is an improvement to the area. We met with the Director of the Water Utility, Mark Lavenberg, and so we've been working on issues relating to access and putting up a fence, and so those conversations are ongoing as well. And of course, we've met with members of the Technical Advisory Committee, so we've listened to their comments and concerns and wrap them into the planning as well. So in sum, we feel that this is consistent not only with the university master plan, but actually is an improvement to this part of the city as well. So, and that's my presentation. So I'd be happy to take any questions.
Just one, can you speak a little bit about the actual day-to-day use of the day center? I mean, what's actually going to take place in the building once it's fully up to speed?
Right, so the day center has offices for the director and his staff, and there's a conference room in this part of the building. There are workrooms, or basically small meeting rooms along the sides. The center is open with movable furniture. It feels like a large living room. So this is where people come in and sit down and wait to be greeted. But it's not intended, again, the day center will largely be, all the clients will be out on campus working. So there will be staff there, but the clients will be out at their jobs, and they'll come back at the end of the day and be picked up by their caregivers, and they'll come back the next day. Now, after the residence hall is built, it'll probably become sort of an extension of the living environment, meaning that, you know, it'll be a living room, there's a sort of a game room, and there's a kitchen in there, so it's sort of an extension of this future facility that they built here. But for the immediate purpose, it's really kind of a touch pad where they come and then head out. So this is sort of a point where they come and go.
So are there any aspects of this building as it's envisioned that would be different than any other building on campus that would house essentially a director and staff?
In effect, no. It's Rutgers faculty and staff who will be working here. The graduate students who are the assigned mentors, they'll have to come in and punch the clock. And, they get college credit for providing these services, so they're going to have to do that. So, it's really just sort of the face of the program, so to speak. But operationally, it's all the activities on campus.
So the fact that this is designed to facilitate assistance to individuals with autism does not necessitate any design features that would be, that would vary from practically any other building on campus?
Well, I think the architects are sensitive to some of the sensory needs in terms of colors and textures, but I mean it's not what I say is it's not like a rehabilitation facility where I mean, it will be designed to be barrier-free, but it's not going to feel like it's anything but a place that is inviting and community-oriented.
I mean, I think it's a wonderful project, certainly. You said that you spoke with the neighbors. Were there any objections that were raised or any concerns, any discussions with the neighbors?
Not concerns on their part, but they said, well, you know, there were, it was brought to the attention. Well, sometimes, you know, there are some activities nearby that, you know, you want to be aware of, and you don't want your clients to be out alone. And we understood what they were saying. And so, they would be mentored and cared for. So we're aware of that.
I would just add that what we're doing is looking at the consistency with the master plan. The master plan doesn't specifically talk about a project like this, but it talks about this area, the IN2 zone, being for Rutgers type facilities. This is part of their campus. It talks about maintaining this as an open campus area, which I think Mr. Wong, in discussing the style of the building, its sort of low-rise features, how it presents to Nickel Avenue and so forth, is in keeping with what the master plan is calling for. And I think the potential when this goes to a second phase for having housing, it's not necessarily affordable housing, but it's in a similar vein of providing housing that may not be available for a certain segment of the population. And as Mr. Wong stated, this is a groundbreaking type of project. So I think it fits very consistently with what the master plan has been calling for.
Any other questions?
Now you can open it up to the public.
Other public comment?
Raise your right hand, state your name, spell your last name for me, please.
Charles Granville, K-R-A-T-O-B-I-L.
And do you swear to truth in this matter?
Yes, I do. Sounds like a really amazing, impressive project. I'd just like to know if there's any existing projects like it anywhere in the country. Is there any models that Rutgers is looking to base this off of, or is this the first of its kind?
We believe it will be the first of its kind. There are other facilities, but not the same level, where they have people living on site who are living on the campus. We kind of looked at a number of other facilities around nothing's quite like what's being proposed here.
Can you ask Mr. Wong if he can elaborate at all on the situation with the water treatment plant being right next door? Are there any issues that have come up in his talks with the water utility?
Sure. One of the issues that we've talked with the water utility about is that Comstock Street is the primary access into their plant. So that means trucks making deliveries, cars coming in and out to the gate. So we made some inquiries as to whether there might be a potential alternate location for a new gate, a new entrance into the facility. That didn't really go anywhere. So we're going to work with what's here as and Comstock is a public right-of-way, it's a city street, there are major utilities running underneath, so we recognize that that can't ever be vacated. We've had those discussions. We've also had some discussions about the fence and replacing the fence, which is an older chain link fence that looks like it could be upgraded. So there's been some of those discussions as well. But there were no real issues or concerns raised by the director of the water utility about this particular use being outside the front gate.
So no issues with the distribution of the water, or the quality of the water, or anything like that? This wouldn't affect the city's water supply? Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm excited to see this. Can you just tell me if demolition happens at the end of the year, when might the facility become finished and online?
So we're anticipating demolition of the vacant residences sometime at the end of the year, maybe early next year. And then I did say that if everything works out, they want to have the facility up in 12 months. So the one thing, so this building here is currently being occupied by the executive director, so once that building goes up, then that building can come down.
Okay. And Little Theater stays?
Little Theater stays and the Corwin Lodge stays.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments from the public?
Chair, if there's no other comments, I would suggest a motion on this recommending that the project is consistent with the city's master plan as it is in conformance with the Rutgers mission for this area of town. That's what the master plan calls for.
To do that, motion to approve?
Somebody besides the chair has to make a motion.
I make a motion to approve. Second.
Peter Checo,
Yes.
Clary Barber,
Yes.
John Petrolino,
Yes.
Suzanne Ludwig,
Yes.
Carly Bauer.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And, other matters.
Other matters of interest to the public? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?